The sound comes first. Not the crash. Not the shouting. The sound of something wrong. A tremor runs through the steel beneath your boots. A shudder that doesn't belong to the steady rhythm of engines you've known for 4 days straight. The deck plates hum, then stutter. Somewhere deep in the hull, iron groans like an animal dragged awake. You pause with your wrench halfway to a valve. Then the hiss. Not steam. Not pressure release. Water. It comes thin at first. A whispering spray against hot metal. A strange, delicate sound. In a place that has only ever known thunder, you turn. Along the forward bulkhead, a thin seam darkens. A line appears where there was none before. The paint bubbles. Then a thread of icy seawater forces its way through the rivets and sprays across the boiler room floor, flashing into steam as it hits heat. Someone swears. The floor tilts. Barely, but you feel it. Your heart begins to pound. Not fast yet, just harder. Another seam splits, and another. The ocean has found you. April 1912. North Atlantic Ocean. Below the world anyone will remember. You are 22 years old, and you have never seen the sky from this ship. You came aboard in Southampton with a canvas bag, a folded letter from your mother, and a pair of boots that were already too thin for ocean work. The Titanic had seemed less like a ship and more like a floating city when you first saw her. 4 funnels, rising like smokestacks of heaven itself. Everyone said she was unsinkable. Even the dock workers spoke it softly, as if it were scripture. You had laughed when someone told you that. Unsinkable meant steady work. It meant good wages. It meant that maybe, just maybe, you wouldn't have to go back to the soot-stained rail yard in Manchester when this voyage ended. Ian, you were proud when they sent you below. Engine room, boiler stoker, hard work, brutal heat, but honest. The kind of work that leaves you too tired to doubt yourself. You remember the first night at sea? The vibration of the turbines beneath your ribs? The constant thunder of furnaces devouring coal? The sweat pouring down your spine in rivers? You thought, this is what it feels like to matter. Now the water creeps across the floor in thin black streams. Shut the watertight doors, someone yells from the companionway. The order echoes. Distorted by steam and steel, you move without thinking, boots sloshing as the cold reaches your ankles. The water bites. It doesn't belong here. It carries the smell of iron and salt, and something older than the ship itself. A senior engineer pushes past you, face white beneath coal dust. Keep her lit, he says. Not shouted, not frantic, just firm. Keep her lit. You know what that means. If the fires die, the lights die. If the lights die, panic spreads. Pumps stop. Elevators stall. Wireless loses power. The grand staircases above you fall into darkness. You imagine the passengers up there, men in dinner jackets, women in silk gowns, children asleep in soft beds. They have no idea what is happening beneath their feet. You turn back to the furnace doors. The heat blasts your face as you swing one open. Coal in, door shut. Another. Coal in, shut. Your heartbeat sinks with the roar of flame. Behind you, the water keeps rising. Someone slips and curses. Steam clouds the air, thick and blinding. The metal floor burns your soles through wet leather. You think of your mother's kitchen. That's what surprises you most. Not fear, not disbelief. You think of the narrow wooden table by the window, the chipped blue teapot, the way the morning light used to settle on the flour dust in the air. She had pressed the letter into your hand before you left. Come back, she'd said. Just that. No grand speeches. Come back. You swallow hard and shovel again. The water is to your calves now. Orders move through the engine room in clipped fragments. Close the dampers. Check the gauges. Hold pressure steady. You obey because there is no time to ask why. Somewhere forward, a bulkhead groans louder than the rest. The sound vibrates through bone. You know what it means even before anyone says it. She's breached more than one compartment. You'd heard the older firemen talk about it on the first night, about watertight doors, about how she could float with 4 compartments flooded, 5 perhaps, you try not to count. The electric lights flicker, just once. The flicker sends a cold spike through you sharper than the water. If the power fails, the pump's slow. If the pump's slow, the water wins faster. The ship lists a little more. Coal slides in its bunkers. A cascade of black stone clatters down somewhere behind you. You wipe sweat and salt from your eyes. You are 22. You have not married. You have not held a child. You have not yet built anything that will outlive you. And suddenly you understand that you might not. The order comes down again. Keep the boilers fed. It's madness, part of you thinks. But another part, quieter, steadier, knows why. Up above, lifeboats are being uncovered. The wireless operators are sending distress calls into the dark. They need power for that. They need light to see. They need time. Time is bought down here, in heat, in sweat, in silence. The water reaches your knees. It no longer steams when it touches metal. The room is cooling. Your hands tremble as you lift another shovelful. Not from fear, from exhaustion. You've been on shift for hours already. Your muscles feel hollowed out. A man near the pumps looks at you. He can't be much older, 25 maybe. His eyes meet yours across the rising tide. No words pass between you. You both know. You could leave now. The ladder to the upper decks is still accessible. The water hasn't swallowed the passage yet. You could run. Fight your way up through third-class corridors. Reach the open air. Find a boat. You picture it. Cold wind on your face. Stars. The shock of night after furnace light. But then what? You are a stoker. No family aboard. No ticket to wave. Just another face from below. Would they even let you near the boats? Another shudder. The lights flicker again. Longer this time. You glance at the pressure gauge. It dips. You know what happens if it falls too far. The engines slow. The dynamos falter. Darkness. You shove coal harder. Your breath comes ragged. Steam and smoke sting your throat raw. The water is at your thighs now, dragging at your trousers. Someone slips and disappears under for a moment before resurfacing, coughing. The pumps struggle. The roar of the ship, the constant reassuring thunder of forward motion, has changed. There's a drag in it now. A labored note. She is slowing. Above you, somewhere far beyond steel and rivets, a woman laughs. You hear it faintly through a ventilation shaft. Just a ghost of sound. Someone still unaware. It makes your chest ache. Orders? Someone shouts. The chief engineer's voice answers. He's strained, but clear. Hold her as long as you can. As long as you can. Not forever. Not until relief comes. Just as long as you can. The list increases. The water slants across the floor now, deeper on one side. You brace yourself against a bulkhead to stay upright. The furnace doors are harder to open. Steam explodes outward each time, mixing with the icy flood. Your fingers go numb, heat above, ice below. Your body doesn't know which world it belongs to anymore. Another memory surfaces without permission. You're 15, standing at the rail yard, watching the locomotives roar past. You dreamed of travel then, of crossing oceans, of seeing America. You got your wish, just not the way you imagined. A crash echoes forward, louder than before. The bulkhead gives. Water doesn't seep anymore. It surges. A wall of black seawater slams through, sweeping tools, coal, and men off their feet. You're thrown against a boiler. The impact knocks the breath from your lungs. For a moment, everything is sound. Metal screaming, men shouting, water hammering steel. You surface choking, grabbing for anything solid. The water is chest high now, rising fast. Back, someone yells. To the pumps. But the pumps are drowning. You claw your way toward the ladder. You hesitate. You look back at the furnaces. 3 are still burning. Their glow wavers in the rising tide. If you leave now, they die. If they die, the lights above go out. You imagine the grand staircase in darkness, the panic, the crush. You think of your mother again. Come back. You don't know if staying means you won't. You don't know if leaving means you will. Your heart hammers so hard it hurts. Another surge knocks you sideways. The water is nearly at the furnace mouths now. A man grabs your arm. "Move!" he shouts. "She's done!" His grip is desperate, fingers digging into your soaked sleeve. You look at him. Then at the gauges. Pressure falling, lights flickering. You make the choice without saying it aloud. You wrench free and stumble back toward the nearest furnace. One more feed. Just one more. Coal hisses as it hits flame. You slam the door shut. The water engulfs the lower half of the boiler. Steam explodes around you in a blinding cloud. The lights flicker violently, then steady, for a moment. Just a moment. Somewhere above, a lifeboat is lowered with enough light for hands to find rope. You don't see it. You only feel the weight of water pulling at your waist. Now you run. The ladder is chaos. Men scrambling. Water roaring behind you like a beast released. You climb. Boots slipping on iron rungs slick with oil and seawater. The lights blink once more. Twice. Then everything goes black. The darkness is absolute. Not furnace glow, not twilight. Nothing. Only shouting and the rush of water in the dark. Hands claw at you. You lose your footing. Slam against someone's back. Climb again. Your lungs burn. Your legs shake. You break through a hatch into air so cold it steals your breath completely. Stars. There are so many stars. The deck tilts beneath you at an angle that makes your stomach lurch. People crowd the railings. Some cry. Some stand frozen, eyes wide, as if waiting for someone to announce a mistake. You stagger forward, soaked, shaking, barely able to see. The band plays somewhere aft. It sounds wrong in the cold air. A lifeboat swings out, half empty. You move toward it. A crewman blocks you. Women and children. You nod. Of course. You look around. No one needs you here, not anymore. The power is gone. The ship groans. A deep, mortal sound. You feel it in your bones. You grip the railing and look down at the black ocean you fought moments ago. It waits without emotion. You are 22. You worked below deck. When you held the light as long as you could, the deck angle increases sharply. Screams now. Real panic. You climb higher toward the stern because it feels like instinct more than thought. The bow dips lower, dragging the ship into the sea. Cold wind slices through your soaked clothes. You think, absurdly, of how your mother would scold you for going out like this without a coat. The stern lifts. The world tilts vertical. You hold on as long as your hands allow. Then steel tears apart somewhere deep within the hull. The sound is beyond language. You fall. The water hits like a wall of knives. It steals every breath, every thought. Your body convulses against the cold. You surface in darkness, filled with cries. Debris surrounds you. Wood, chairs, fragments of a world that believed itself untouchable. You grab hold of a floating piece of timber. Your limbs go numb almost instantly. The stars remain, indifferent. Around you, the ship disappears. Not with a bang, with a long, shuddering surrender. The cries fade one by one. You don't know how long you cling there. Minutes feel like hours. Your mind drifts in and out. You imagine warmth, a kitchen table, the smell of tea. You tell yourself not to sleep, not yet. Somewhere in the distance, a lifeboat turns back. Voices call out. You try to answer. Only a whisper comes. Hands pull you up. You collapse into wood and rope and shivering bodies. You don't remember the rest. Only that the sky slowly lightened. And you were still breathing. Years from now, when people speak of the Titanic, They will talk about grandeur, about icebergs, about lifeboats and legends. They will not talk about the boiler rooms. They will not talk about the heat or the men who stayed below while the water rose around their knees, and then their chests, and then their throats. But you will remember. You will remember the sound of the first seam splitting. You will remember the weight of that choice, stay or run. You stayed, not because you were fearless, not because you thought you would survive, but because for a few more minutes, someone above needed light. The world kept moving after that night. Ships sailed, cities grew, people forgot. But sometimes when you close your eyes, you still feel it. The floor trembling beneath your boots, the cold water rising, the furnace door slamming shut one last time. And in the dark behind your eyelids, you hear that quiet command again, as long as you can.